apprenticeship facilities and frameworks. And so how to create, the CSIR has to collaborate with TIA. We have projects with the Technology Innovation Agency now, trying to promote this affordable broadband technology that CSIR has developed with spectrum sharing. And we have recently heard about DTI also is involved in the industrialization. Our new CEO is more on, focused on the industrialization because we have a number of research outcomes which needs to go out into industries. And we need to also create an innovative and creative science and technology parks. And I know we have the innovation hub, and how much industries are created through that, we need to know about it, because I'll show you another slide will come later on, where I've worked with a science park in Sweden and in Bangalore in India. And you can see there they have actually achieved higher percentage of industry creation. How did they get it? See, we need to have a focused intervention to make sure that fourth industrial revolution, the technologies for fourth industrial revolution, are harnessed to create the new industries, the new services that we want. So at the CSIR we have technology test beds and use cases. And based on the CSIR Smart Campus technologies that we would like to, for example, develop the fourth industrial revolution applications and test them in a controlled environment. The technology test beds actually help us in a number of ways. You can read it. It will help us develop our expert human capacity in those technologies before they come out into the commercial societal applications. And they support us also, for example, to develop the policy and develop the research outcomes, for example, for the spectrum sharing and dynamic spectrum sharing now. They have been used by CASA, for example. Recently they came out with a regulation, with a technical regulation to allow the dynamic spectrum sharing. So those are the outcomes of the technology test beds that we have, can support development of new policies and technical regulations. And also it will give a feel of the technologies before they come out into actual use. And then also we also with these test beds become now a global partner to the global research and development and innovation. So that's a very important issue because we have to follow standards. The standards gives us the possibility that any type of industry can start based on those standards. And we can have also a mass market by having standards. So that is part of the global RTI that we are in. For example, the IEEE 5G roadmap and test bed work groups, we are involved in that, for example. So as I said, test beds are very important to make us test the applications that are there and also test the requirements that are there. So one of the technologies that we developed, which I have been involved with very much, is the technology of network capacity improvement by spectrum sharing. So this is a technology that we have developed at the CSIR, and we can now, anywhere in South Africa, we can sit with our laptops, we can point to anywhere in South Africa and get the availability of spectrum within the UHF and VHF band. And we have given this technology now for free for some time, and people are testing it. And since now the regulation has come out from ICASA, there are a number of industries that we are planned now. Within the CSIR, we have identified 7 industries that can come out of this technology. But as you know, you let young people come in and innovate. There might be more spin-offs coming out also of this technology. So this is the type of technology we have also patented this technology, and it has also impact in the 5G network capacity. So this is another slide which I got from a colleague of mine, which shows the different technologies and the skills that are required, and how do we, scale such technologies to be, commercially available to others, and how they will have impact on the transportation and logistics sector, health. We still require, the universities to do research. Our technology, for example, is being used by a number of universities, and we have connected several universities to have access to the sensor data for the spectrum, and also the interoperability testing for health, for example, applications that has been developed there, and the trust and security also can be tested because now we have a test bed that resembles the actual technologies that will be deployed. And multidisciplinarity is also something that we are trying to work with, because, as I said, CSIR has a multidisciplinary units which will have, a coordinated way of working now that we are focusing on industrialization. So relevant use cases. Actually, I would like to say that we don't have to invest in fourth industrial revolution unless it gives us some benefits. One of the most important benefits I see with fourth industrial revolution is that it can help us optimize the use of resources. The use of resources such as, energy utilities, and water resources, and then health, and other things. Otherwise, I think it's just a matter of, talking about the technologies, because we need to make sure that the relevant use cases are developed. And that we would like to make sure that with our technology test beds in the CSIR, we would like to test relevant use cases. That's why we have, a big energy, alternative energy campus. Now, we would like to make sure that our campus is out of the grid, using alternative energy resources. We have a big, I think you can come and visit the CSIR. We have a big solar farm, which is one of the best solar farms that we have in Africa, in my opinion. And we are generating that, and we are going to have also other alternative energy grids combined together to make sure that we can show in the future, when we don't have the fossil fuel, we still have the resources that we can use. The other use case, relevant use case I see, is that supporting the disabled people. This is technology that I saw in the Mobile World Congress for the fourth industrial revolution. It uses most of the fourth industrial revolution technologies which I showed you before. And this is a helmet that was demonstrated during that Mobile World Congress in Shanghai, China. And this is a relevant use case, in my opinion. And it also solves some of the problems, for example, our handicapped people can have. And in my opinion, also our young people have to be directed towards solving this type of problems instead of war games. And I still believe that these are the technologies that will come. Another application or relevant use case I see with 5G, with this enhanced mobile broadband, gigabit networks, is that of education. Education with immersive virtual reality equipment. Because it actually, ignites the senses, different type of senses. And scientific, proof is there. When we ignite more senses in learning, then the retention power increases by more than 35%. So this is good for the young people because they love it, but I think what we should do also is that we should also use it to train our existing workforce to learn new technologies, in my opinion. It's not only for the young, this type of technologies. So by that we can digitally transform our society, digitally transform the industry, and also have a workforce which is well educated, well aware of the technologies that are coming. So how do we support the innovation? This is a conglomeration of the two the parks that I have been in Bangalore, the IT park in Bangalore, and the IDEON in Sweden. So we need to have such an interface, such a science and technology innovation or entrepreneurship center, in my opinion, to make sure that we support the young people when they come up with ideas on applications using these technologies, so that we can support them with incubation systems, and with business development and entrepreneurship ideas, and we can also support them with licensing, and there's a lot of IP and legal issues. But at the same time, also, what I saw in these two parks is that we don't have to actually shout a lot, because the industry will come when there are ideas, and when there are good ideas, and industry will come and look into it, and the investment will come there. The investors that were in the IDEON in Sweden and in Bangalore was that they came there because they saw that there was a lot of ideas being clicked and being supported, being incubated, and they want to invest in those ideas. These big companies like Oracle, IBM, and Google, Microsoft, all of them are in these science parks. And they bring a lot of foreign direct investment to these places. And they actually invest in those technologies to make sure that their own portfolio increases, but also gives the young people also the necessary investment that's important to develop these technologies. So we need to have to be able to develop such a center for this. I know there is innovation hub in Pretoria. There is also one in Cape Town, so centers. But we need to be able to do this type of engagements with centers. Another factor for the CSIR is that we really have a global community of collaboration on research and development and in innovation. One of the things that 2 years ago that we saw is that Africa was never in the map of the 5G research and development. The CSIR really came in and also brought the digital inclusion and affordable broadband issues into the 5G standard. And with our membership in the International Electrical and Electronics Engineers, through that we could come in and suggest ideas and new research areas for the 5G standardization group, which is led by the International Telecommunications Union, and we could inculcate this type of ideas into the standards, and which implies that we have now a research alliance the 5G Research Alliance, which is led by CSIR, with over 17 different countries which are involved in this. Most of them are African countries, because Africa was not invited into that technology area, but we were supposed to be buyers. But now we can also develop the technologies and develop the industry, develop the services. That is the way of investing in research and development. So we were asked to put up some summary points. I think you can read those things, and we try to see that there is supporting the resource constrained regulatory and policy authorities in different African countries is a very important issue for us. So that's why we have engaged with ICASA, and we are engaging with Ghana National Communications Authority. We are engaging with Botswana, the Botswana Communication Regulatory Authority, Tanzania Communications Regulatory Authority, and they need that because the FCC in the US, it has a very big research and development organization behind it, which is supporting it with the research information. But these organizations don't have these African regulators. So we need to support those regulators also to come up with new policies and technical regulations. Because we need technical regulations so that we don't allow technologies without the proper coexistence. You see, now we are coexisting, and these test beds I talked about in Western Cape and Limpopo, we are coexisting with TV broadcasters. We never got any complaint because we followed the technical regulation. The same thing has to happen with the different technologies that we are going to put in. We need to make sure that there is coexistence between the different technologies that we put in. And they have to share spectrum, but they have to coexist also at the same time. The same thing with this multi-sectoral fourth industrial revolution. There are many technologies coming in and playing in the same field. So we need to have a coexistence tool, coexistence regulation. So we need to support that with the regulatory authorities. The summary point 2 is also this one. And the main point I would like to point is that we need to have, build innovation and entrepreneurship frameworks so that we can benefit from these 5G ICT technologies that are coming and the fourth industrial revolution applications. And we need to have socio-economic development out of it also, benefit from it. Finally, we all are in the same boat. You see, there's a lot of challenges in the world that we have to solve, and we are all in the same boat. So we are all crews. We're not passenger. No one is passenger in this, and that's what I would like to say, because there is a lot of silos building, and there is a lot of non-collaboration and hiding information that will not help us. We need to work together in an open environment. We need to work together to make sure that the new technologies come in and support us in the development and solving the challenges that we have in the world. Thank you.